Hey guys, Brad Niccum, Nest Mortgage Group here. Just wanted to say happy Monday. Let you all know we're back from Hawaii. We had a fantastic trip, but I have to tell you, it's more fantastic to be back on this time zone and not have to wake up before 3 a.m. to start working. I also want to say thanks to all the people who reached out and said congratulations to my wife and I for competing in and completing the Honolulu Marathon. So I actually did it in 5 hours and 29 minutes. And I kind of felt like I'd never want to do it again, but now I think I might maybe do another marathon. So it'd be kind of cool. All right, let's jump into some mortgage stuff. We got a big week coming up. Wednesday will mark the Fed's last meeting of the year where they're expected to cut the Fed fund rate another quarter. That's what we're expected to see. So we just kind of have to watch and see what happens. Tuesday, we have retail sales data. The Commerce Department will release November's retail sales figures. Economists anticipate a 0.5% increase following the 0.4% rise in October. That indicated that the consumer continued spending. So we'll see if we have, that same increase. We have two important pieces of data Wednesday. One is housing starts and building permits. That's data on new residential construction projects and permits issued. It'll offer insights to the housing market's momentum. And number two, the Fed decision, which we've already talked about a little bit. Thursday, we get existing home sales. The National Association of Realtors will report November's sales of existing homes with projections suggested an increase to the seasonal adjusted rate of 4.01 million homes following a rise in October. So we did see an increase in October, expecting that in November as well. There's been a little bit of a change in a program that I wanted to point out. And this is one that's really helpful for that first-time home buyer, maybe the person that is purchasing a home while finishing college. When somebody's going to buy a house and they have a roommate, you can never use that roommate's income towards the debt to income ratio for the person buying the house. It has to be both people on the loan to use their income. And let's say that roommate knows they're only going to live there for a couple of years and then maybe they're moving on. And the person buying the house knows that, hey, if I bought this house today with the roommate's income, I would qualify. So one way to help that person get in the house is if they have a willing family member that would be a non-occupying co-borrower with that person. They bought the house and then documented the rent of their roommate for the entire year, showed it on their taxes as income. So they got to do it right and claim the income. Then they could refinance that house a year later, and a percentage of that rent could then be used towards that payment. So what we could do is figure out what that rent needs to be for them to be able to debt ratio, and then they charge that rent for the whole year. Then we use that income and refinance the willing party that did the non-occupying co-borrow or co-signing for the person buying the house. So it's one way to kind of work around the income that can be an issue sometimes. Another great program when buying a house from family members is utilizing a gift of equity. I seem to get a couple of these every quarter, and I'm working on one now where you've got a person who is selling the home, maybe a grandparent's going to sell the home to a grandchild, and they don't need all the equity. They just want to get the grandchild a good price. So what we do is we write the purchase agreement for the full appraised value price, and then in the further conditions sections, we state that the seller is going to be giving a gift of equity of whatever that dollar amount is. And now the buyer buys that house. They don't have any down payment, and they also don't have any PMI if the gift was larger than 20%. And the only thing they have to pay for is their closing costs. Now you still can structure the deal where the seller pays the closing costs as well. And now that person got into that new house with no money down and no PMI. So it's a great way to buy a house with no money down if a family member's got one to sell in that situation. I run across this scenario a lot. So if you run across this scenario and you're not sure how to put that together, give me a call. I love working on those kind of deals. Mortgage efficiency is our top priority. 24, $40 underwriting time, condition clearing in 24 hours, ensuring a smooth, fast closing for all loan types, closing every loan type under 30 days. We're also experts in helping conventional buyers with 20% down try to secure an appraisal waiver before submitting the offer. It gives them a real competitive edge. So remember, if you have a buyer that needs a pre-approval day, night, weekends, holidays, I'm always here, committed to making the mortgage process as seamless for you and your client. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all have a fantastic week.